Hello everyone, evening. Thank you for joining in the live. Okay, so for today, we are still going to be playing Kahoot game. Hello, evening. Okay, but this time, I'll be covering your oral because your oral is just 2 weeks away. Hello. And for the last part, we are going to be covering 5 questions of comprehension open-ended. Okay, and all of the questions, okay, the components, okay, are based on the past year PSLE. If I'm not mistaken, it's 2019. But I tweak it a bit to suit the latest formatting. Okay. Hello, welcome. Feel free to go to kahoot.it and then type the game pin. It's 371941. Okay, let me just type it for you. 371941. So this is the game pin for the Kahoot game. I'm just going to pin it so it'll be easier for you to see. Okay. How are you guys doing today? It's almost the end of the week. Today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday, and then we're going to have a weekends. And then this week is the final week of July. Finally. The next week it's August. So how are you feeling? Those who are going to sit for your oral, your first paper, PSLE paper 4, how are you? Are you okay? Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, just go straight to kahoot.it and then you type the game pin. Okay, 371941. This time, there won't be any podium because it's open-ended answers. Okay. Today we are going to be focusing on our oral. Alright. 2 sets of oral, and then we have 5 questions of comprehension open-ended. I know it's usually 10 questions, right? But for today we are going to be focusing on the 5 first. Yes. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the share. Okay, as usual, we'll wait until 6:10. Okay, before we start the Kahoot game. How are you guys doing? All good? How's your July so far? We have 5 weeks, right, of July. So this week is the final week of July, and then next week would be August, and then you have just like a few more days for your oral. Okay. I hope everything is good on your end. How was it? Just got my prelim marks for oral. I bet it's you receive flying colours, right? AL1. Okay, this time there won't be any podium because it's open-ended answers. Okay, so you have to type your answers. Oh, that's good. Good job. That's AL1, right? For your reading passage. Okay, remember your reading passage, you have to know the purpose of the text. Okay, the text sometimes can be narrative, speech. Okay, what else? News article. Okay, so you have to figure out during your preparation stage. Okay, you read through the reading passage. Okay, you need to know the purpose of the passage. Okay, what is it about? Okay, who are the intended audiences? Okay, what else? The context of the passage. Okay, and then last but not least, when you know the purpose, audience, and context, then you need to know your tone. Okay, before you start reading the reading passage. Okay. What else? Thank you so much for the share. Okay, another 5 more minutes. Can I get at least 12 participants? Okay, this time we're going to have 2 sets of oral comprehension. Oral comprehension, Oral stimulus-based conversation. Okay, 2 sets of it. So that means 2 pictures and 6 questions. Okay, so 3 questions for each picture, and then we'll move to our comprehension open-ended. Okay, where you need to answer 5 questions based on the passage. Okay. Actually, I forgot to set the automatic generate your names. So that's why you are allowed to type in your name. But it's okay. We can get to know each other. Because this will be our routine. Okay, for the whole year. Every Thursday, 6 to 7, we are going to talk about PSLE English components. Okay, so while waiting for your friends, okay, more viewers to participate in this Kahoot game, why don't you let me know what do you want me to cover next week, Thursday 6-7. So next week should be which date? Thursday, let me check. Thursday next week is the 6th of August. Compre close. Okay, sure. I'm going to take note of it. So you want comprehension close. The one with the 15 blanks, right? Do you want me to cover oral as well? Since that's like 1 week away from your oral. The code is 371941. Yes, thank you, Amalina. It's 371941. I've pinned the comment. I'm not sure why is it like disappear. Oh, it has like duration. Okay. So first, I'll cover comprehension close. The 15 blanks, right? And then we do PSLE oral. So, oh no, I'm afraid next week will be the last session for our oral, right? Then after 12th of August, we are going to be focusing on our paper 2 and paper 1. Okay? Alright, another 1 more minute before I press the start button. MCQ. What MCQ? Grammar, vocab? Okay, I'm just going to put both lah. Vocab and grammar. Okay? No, why? Like cukup-cukup makan. All vocab. Okay, try my best. So far I have 3 components to cover next week. Is comprehension close, PSLE oral, okay, 1 final stretch, and then vocab and grammar. Okay. Alright. 1 more minute. Okay. Oh, later on I'll be having a NDP webinar on Monday, 10th of August. Okay, you can just go to this website. I am typing it. Okay, and then go to NDP webinar. Okay, it's like a last minute tips for your PSLE oral. Okay, I hope you can join. Okay, so it's already 6:10. Let me just press the start button. Okay. Like I mentioned, today will be about your paper 4, which is your oral stimulus-based conversation, okay, and your paper 2, okay, paper 2 booklet B, which is comprehension, open-ended. I believe there will be a recording, okay, so if you miss out this session, it's okay, you can go to our social media and then to get the questions together with the solution. And if you have the time, okay, on Monday 10th of August, you can join our NDP webinar. Okay, it's last minute like tips and strategies for you guys, okay, before you head for your oral exam on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, in the NDP webinar, I will be giving tips and strategies for your reading passage as well. Okay, alright, now let's go. As usual, before we get started, I'd like to ask you, what's your go-to midnight snack? Ramen or ice cream? Ramen. None of the above. So what's your go-to midnight snack, Amalina? Another 5 seconds. Okay. So midnight snack is gonna be ice cream and ramen. And do you like mint chocolate ice cream? The chocolate mint chip ice cream, or do you feel like it tastes like toothpaste? I like it. That's my favorite ice cream flavor. Okay, now let's go to our first component. Okay, it's stimulus-based conversation. Okay, like I mentioned, it's gonna be we'll be discussing 2 sets of SBC. Okay, what is it? It's gonna be I'm going to ask you about a theme and 3 questions. Okay, based on the picture. Okay, so why? Of course, you have to answer or give your reasons, okay, give your experience, and then you link it back to the questions, okay, because we have been doing it like quite numerous of time, right? So you have to know your why. Okay, now let's see the first picture. Describe this picture in 1 word. When you look at this picture, what can you describe? But you need to use only 1 word. Oh, I have 23 participants. Those who just joined, you can just go into kahoot.it and then you type the game pin, okay? It's 371941. Amalina, did you join the Kahoot or you cannot join it? Library, action, bookshelf, reading, knowledgeable, okay, quiet, interesting, yes, library, good job. Now, let's move on to the theme, like the main idea, the big picture of this picture. Think of one theme that is related to the picture. There's no right or wrong answer as long as you can relate the theme to the picture. Okay? A few of you still answering the question. Okay. So theme, promoting comic books, recommend reading poster. None of you mentioned hobby, right? Yes, so the theme could be hobby, okay, reading. What else? Love for books, right? Okay, now Now that you know what to describe about the picture, what is the theme, now let's answer question number 1. Look at the picture. Which book looks most interesting to you and why? So first you have to choose. There are 3 books there. The Strange Door by Stanley Lim, and then we have Animals in the Wild by Ruth Sim, and then we have The Adventure of Superboy Danny. So which one of these 3 books that looks the most interesting to you and why? So like I mentioned, first you have to choose one of the 3 books, okay? And then you have to provide your reason. Why did you choose that book? Okay, of course, The Strange Door is more like a mystery thriller genre. Okay, Animals in the Wild, like animal lover book. Okay, The Adventure of Superboy Danny is more like action, maybe like sci-fi book. Okay, so which one would you think looks interesting, that intrigue you, make you curious to read more about the book? Okay, now 11 answers submitted. 12, 13. Okay, wait, I cannot show the answer until everyone has already submitted. It's okay. So which one? Let's see the answer. Okay, now show answer. The Strange Door, because I'm curious. Okay, it looks like a very strange door. Okay, Animal in the Wild, love animals, and I like animals. I like to sort of update my facts about animals. I have an animal fact book, therefore I would like the animals. Okay, that's good. That's a very good point. Okay, I believe I put the duration as 1 minute, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that's good. Within that 1 minute, you get all the points there. The Strange Book, because it is a mystery book and very interesting adventure book. Yes. Okay, I love nature, as I like non-fiction. I love learning about the world around me and learning about animals. Okay, The Strange Door, because it is strange, because you might not know what to expect. Okay, I like mystery or sometimes scary books, and the curious part of me goes ahead. Okay, so you choose 2 books here. I think Strange Door looks most interesting as the cover and title seems like a horror story, and I love plots and books like that. For example, Mr. Midnight. Yes, I love to read Mr. Midnight as well, and I like good plots, so I think The Strange Door suits me the most. Okay, that's good. That's a very good point. The book about animals, about real life things, and I really like reading non-fiction. Some of the animals have cool features and behaviors. Okay, me and my family like animals. Okay, Strange Door, the content stays mysterious to readers since the title leaves to the imagination. It looks like a mystery adventure genre book, which I love to read, especially if it is a fantasy book. Okay, the book also looks similar to Harry Potter. Okay, yes, you can include all the all the books that are almost the same, quite similar genre to the one that you chose. Okay, The Superboy Danny. Oh, this is the first. The cover of the book looks interesting to me. In my opinion, I like action books as it prevents me from getting bored in the middle of my reading session. Okay, Animal in the Wild looks interesting to me because it is about facts, and adding on, I am an animal lover. Okay, that's good. Okay, good job everyone. Now let's see the sample. Okay, so the sample, I chose The Strange Door because it is also everything that you have mentioned before. Okay, makes me curious, encourage me to keep reading, and so on. Okay, so like I mentioned, oral, we have no right and wrong answers. As long as you have the reasons, okay, you provide your examples and you link it back to the questions, then you're good to go. Okay, now of course question A will be always about the picture. Okay, and then we have question B and C, which can be about your observation, or your own opinion or experience. Okay, now let's see. B. Do you visit your school library often? Why or why not? Okay, so this question is asking you about your own opinion. So if you say, "Oh, I don't go to my school's library often or seldomly," then you can provide your answer why. Okay? Maybe you prefer to read on your bed, okay, like cozy, comfortable, okay? If you like to go to your school library, you can also provide the reason why. Because you like the quiet ambience, for example. Okay? Or maybe you can say nowadays, like we prefer to just read on our iPad or, PDF books. Okay? It can be time consuming, for example, for me to go to the school library and then, to get the stamp from the librarian, okay, to borrow the book and so on. So whatever is your opinion, okay, if you say if you visit often, okay, or if you visit, seldomly or rarely, you have to have your reasons. Don't just give like very short answer. So this is when all the talkative people like me, it's the time for us to shine. Okay? Now show answers. Okay, I cannot okay, because reading is fun for everyone. Not really, because I'm quite busy with studying. However, I would read books that my parents just finished as I have. Okay, yes, it's a good one, okay? Not really, okay? I go to my school library like seldomly. Okay, for example, then you give out your reason. Why? Because I'm quite busy with my studying. I have tuition classes and so on, okay? Yes, it is a very fun place as there is a lot of events. Also, it has a lot of books, so I can find a lot of new book there. Yes, I do, because I do, and when I do go into the library, because I do. Okay, yes, because there is aircon. Is that right? AC twice a month. Okay, because my brother have PSLE this year and I am P5. Wow, that's great. Thank you for joining in. Okay, next year will be your time. Okay, and it's good to prepare early. Not really. Most of the time, I have something called a Kobo, which is an e-reader. Okay, so I can just download books straight into it. I only go to the library during Ramadan away from the canteen. Okay, that's good. Yeah, nowadays we have Kobo, Kindle, and so on, right? So it's like not necessary for us to read books at the library. Okay? Yes, I do. I love reading books and I love aircon. Okay, I am also my school librarian's assistant. So every recess I will help the school librarian Auntie Eunice to shelf books and decorate library with my friends Brandon, who is also an assistant. Okay. Yes, it is quiet and full of books I want to explore. Okay, so interesting until I feel like I'm even in the room. Okay, I do not. It is because I do not like books and I just do not have the time these days. However, I often visit. Okay, I like this point. Okay, so you mentioned you do not go to your school library often, but okay, I often visit the public library because I have more time after school. Okay, that's good, that's good. Okay, now let's see the sample answer. Okay, like I mentioned, if you say, quite often, you have to elaborate. Okay, and then maybe you can give out some example. Who did you go with? Okay, if not, you can mention like all of your answers just now. Okay, now let's go to question C. So just now talk about school library. Okay, still asking about your books, right? About the theme. Okay, now would you prefer listening to stories or reading stories? Why? What do you think? I wanted to write more, but there is yes. The maximum words is 250 characters only. Okay, so Would you prefer listening to stories or reading stories? Okay, for me, if I have the time, I'll read the book first, then I watch the movie. Because the movie version tends to, cut out most of the parts because they want to cram it to like what? 1 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours tops. So they miss out like certain things that they feel like it's not important. But in the story, in the book, it has like big impacts on the readers. Okay, for me, I like listening to stories. Usually, me and my friends will take turns telling stories. Okay. So it's like, giving out your opinions. Like you share one storybook, and then after you share all the content, you can come out with your own opinion about it. Whether you agree or not with the character's decision, okay? Okay, 16 and 17. Okay, let me just read them randomly. Hearing people listening. Hearing people. Okay, listening to the stories can be boring. I prefer because listening to stories because I usually read slow. Reading stories because I want to improve. Okay. My oral. Okay, reading also can, improve your writing as well because you will know the pattern, okay? When to use the past perfect tense and everything. Okay, I prefer reading stories because I can understand stories better, in my opinion. Okay, listening. As a teacher will read the book with the tone of the person saying his or her line. Yes, correct. Okay, I can see the words. If I were to listen, I might not hear the word correctly. I need to restart the audio. Okay, also you get to know the spelling as well. Okay, I would prefer reading stories myself as I can read at my own pace. I do not want to sit around and wait for maybe the teacher at the front to read, as I am a fast reader and I like to read more in the given time. Okay, that's good. Reading stories because reading allows us readers to imagine the story based on our creativity and imagination. Yes. Listening to the story might leave out some important details. Okay, it's the same. To indulge everything in what is happening in the book. Okay, sparks my imagination. Okay, good job. Yes, that is how you answer the questions. Okay, so this is the sample of answer. Okay, it's almost similar to your answers as well. Alright, this is quite lengthy because I have no restriction, okay, on the characters number. Okay, now let's move to the second set. Okay, so describe this picture in one word. Get to know your neighbors at Sunny Avenue's party. And then we have all these plates of food. We have what? That one is chicken rice, if I'm not mistaken. Sandwich. What is this? Is it mashed potato? Some satay here. All Sunny Avenue residents are welcome. Okay, so this is taken from PSLE 2020. Right? Yes, it's a bonding session with you and your friends when you share all the stories and opinion. It could be prata. Yeah, it could be roti canai. Date Sunday, 1st of November 2020. Okay, so based on this picture alone, somehow I can figure out what the prompts are going to be, right? Describe this picture: neighborhood, socializing, celebration. My English is bad. Food, poster, reunion, event, hawker say yes. Okay, that's good. Now, let's move to the theme. What is the main idea of this picture? Like I mentioned, by looking at this picture, okay, by understanding the theme, you can figure out what are the prompts for this picture. Of course, they will ask you maybe like, would you be interested to join in this event? Or do you think the food spreads, are all appetizing? Okay. Do you look forward to attending this event, for example? Okay. So one theme only. Okay, it's meet neighbor, getting to know each other. Okay, lunch, meal. Oh, you cannot hear me? Can you hear me well? Neighborhood, okay, around my neighborhood, community, right? Okay, now let's go to the first question, which will always be based on the picture. Okay, look at the picture. Does the spread of food at the party interest you? Why or why not? So we have satay, roti prata, sandwich, and chicken rice. Do these food interest you? If you say yes, then you have to mention why. Because they are all my favorite food. Okay, for example. Then you can give your example. When I go to the hawker centers, I will always get all these yummy food. So that is the example. If you say yes, this spread of food at the party interests me. Okay, but if not, you can say, oh no, because I'm allergic to it, for example, or what else? They're not my favorite food. I rather eat something like, like salad, like more healthy food. Okay, what else? Why is the text box so short? Yeah, it's only 250 words. But it's okay, you can just give me like short form as long as I can understand it. Okay, because this is just a practice. Okay, I just want to make sure that, you have all the points there. Okay, 13 submitted. Okay, let's see. No, it doesn't because I'm more of action, not sitting down. Okay. Yes, as all this food is all my favorite food. I'm a big bag, so I like a lot of food except for onions. Oh, you don't like onions? Yes, because it has different types of variety food that me and my neighbor can enjoy. We can taste different cultures, meals, and tradition as Singaporean. Yes, I'm allergic to seafood, but when I see food, I eat. Okay, yes, I can try different cuisine that is served along with flavored teas. There's every sambal for the chicken rice. The sweet juicy satay that was barbecued. Okay, yes, it interests me because I can try food from different culture. I can. Okay, no, because I just ate. Okay, by the way, if you miss out certain points and all, you can just go to our social media. Okay, I cannot like name the social media, but you can always check out all the social media that we have. Okay, following this username. All right, and then you can see the solution together with the questions. Okay. Yes, it showcases the diversity of the races in Singapore. It also dishes food to many people. Okay, good job. That's not interesting because I'm quite picky. Okay, picky eater, and a lot of food in the poster has sauce and veggies which I do not like. Which I probably eat the sandwich, but it is maybe cheese or egg, but extra stuff I wouldn't. Okay, all right. Yes, there's no right or wrong as long as you have your answer, you have your reasons. Okay, to why you do not like it, okay, you disagree or agree, as long as you have the reasons, like I mentioned, you're good to go. Okay, now this is the sample of the answer. Okay, it is, like I mentioned, similar to your answer as well. Alright, now, moving on to question B. So the theme is, we know, community around my neighborhood. Now, what do you like about your neighborhood? So you can talk about the facilities, you can talk about your neighbor, okay? You can talk about your your best friends who live with you or next to you, okay? Which is your neighbor as well. Okay, if you want to talk about facilities, you can talk about what? Playground. What else? The hawker centers. Okay? The community hall, for example. So what do you like about your neighborhood? If you don't like your neighborhood, you can also state it, okay? But you have to give your reason, okay? You cannot just simply say, oh no, I don't like my neighborhood. But why? The examiner wants to know, okay? Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the like. Wow, just now I saw it's only 58 love. Now it's already 4,000 plus. Thank you so much. Okay, we have another 13 seconds. Where is the pencil of okay? Like I mentioned, you can talk about your facilities, you can talk about that particular uncle or aunties, okay? That always greet you when you go to school, for example. Okay, let's see. Still submitting. They are fun and kind. They are kind and caring. Okay, so now I believe you're talking about your neighbors. That everyone is being welcome and respectful. Okay, neighbors are nice. I like that the neighborhood is peaceful all the time and it is not constant screaming. I like that a lot of my friends live nearby, so I can drop by sometimes. Okay, now this person is talking about the facilities. Okay, I love it as the MRT stone's throw away, together with the market and shopping mall, and my neighbors are super nice because during Raya they give me things. And they are super nice. Okay, I like the football court near my house, but I have to take a bus to go to the school because I live further than the rest of my friends. Okay, now it's very lively. They are kind, and during celebrations, no matter different races, they will give us stuff. But the playground with a ladder, it's okay because it says 3 to 6 years old. Okay, they are very kind to me. Okay, the neighbors, they would give us food or gifts to show our appreciation. We would also give things to them. Okay, I like the support and gifts from my neighbors, as we can relate to things in the building and facilities and complain to each other, and also gives as my building was just built and everyone is new and very nice, trying to get to know each other. Okay, so it's like a meet and greet, right? I also love my neighbors. They are welcoming and caring, and they also inviting me and my family over to lunch. Not only that, they are also always out there to lend an extra hand. Okay, yeah. So that is how you answer. Okay, like I mentioned, it depends on your teachers. Okay, if they teach you to use peel method, you can use peel method. If they teach you a rope, what else? Trees, areas. What else? Trees, areas, a rope, peel. Yeah. So any of the methods, okay, as long as you have all the answers, okay, you can get full mark or almost full mark. Okay. So this is a sample of answer. Okay, I like that my neighborhood is peaceful and convenient. Okay, like you mentioned in your answers. Okay. And then I talk about the facilities nearby. Okay, what do you have? Okay, shops, playground, okay, bus, like you mentioned, market, and then your football court, and then the MRT, right? Okay, now sorry, let's go to question C. What does being a good neighbor mean to you? Okay, some of you have already answered that in question B, but it's okay. Okay, so to you, what does being a good neighbor mean to you? How can you be a good neighbor to your neighbor? Is it by greeting them every day? Or like you mentioned, during your Hari Raya, your Chinese New Year, your Deepavali, you gather together, or you give them food, you cook them food, you provide them food, like you give them some presents, okay? Just to show your appreciation towards your neighbor. What does it mean by being a good neighbor? Maybe you help them to take their parcels. Okay? What else? What else can you do? So far, we have 5 answers. I think if you want to type in the comment box also can, but it's going to be lengthy, right? And then this TikTok comment also has like limit word count. Okay, let me show you the answer. Always being there to help our neighbors, they are kind and friendly, being kind to each other and always lending a helping hand. Okay, just don't disturb them and done. Okay, being kind and loving, would greet each other every time they meet each other and exchange smiles. Okay, means kind and caring, being nice and supportive to each other and greeting each other when we see. For example, this P3 guy goes to my school and the grandma is nice to my family and we are friends. So we appreciate each other. Okay, we can help each other when needed and not making noise in the middle of the night, and can also exchange food during events. Okay, by being thoughtful, right? And being considerate, inviting and welcoming and friendly. Okay, that's great. Alright, now let's see the sample. Okay, so this is the sample of answer. Okay, it's quite similar to your answer as well, because it is up to you and depends on you on how you define a good neighbor. Okay, now let's see. It's the end. Do you think it's really the end? So it's just 6:41 right now. Wait, sorry, let me just read the comment. I got my English booklet A paper 2 and I did. Oh no, what happened? Only for booklet A. By the way, it's not the end, okay? We still have one more component. We have comprehension open-ended, okay? And usually you will answer 10 questions, okay? But for this live, the purpose of this live, no, bye-bye. I still have another one more component for you to answer, okay? For this purpose of for this live, okay, you will only answer 5 questions. Okay, now let's see. Let me just read it for you. Okay, so of course, when you want to answer comprehension open-ended, you have to read the whole passage first. Then only you start reading the questions. Okay, why you need to read the whole passage? First, because you need to understand the passage, okay, in order for you to answer. Okay, now Paul had to spend a week at Nanny Chu's place as his parents were going overseas for a work trip. His mother had been busy preparing for his stay. These included buying him shoes to replace the ones he had outgrown. Paul was sad to see his old shoes go. The Velcro straps on them were easy to fasten, unlike the shoelaces on his new shoes. Paul's mother tried hard to teach him how to tie his shoelaces. The first loop was easy, but he had difficulty whenever he tried to pull the other end of the shoelace to form another loop. After watching him try in vain a couple of times, his mother swooped down and settled it in no time. During the drive over to Nanny Chu's place, Paul grumbled about having to stay with the elderly lady. He had only vague memories of his mother's caregiver, whom he had met at a family event a year ago. "I'll be bored stiff," he said with dramatic sigh. Shaking her head, Paul's mother thought the stay would be good for him. Nevertheless, she promised him that she would make up for it upon her return. Nanny Chu, who was more petite than Paul remembered, was clearly waiting for them as she appeared as soon as they rang the doorbell to welcome them. That made Paul feel a little guilty. After his parents left, Nanny Chu suggested that they went to a park nearby. As Paul struggled to tie his shoelaces, Nanny Chu observed with mild amusement. "Help, please," Paul pleaded. "You can do it, boy. I'm too old to bend down to help you," said Nanny Chu with a wrinkled smile. Then she walked away and disappeared into the kitchen. Squaring his shoulders, Paul tackled his shoelaces again. Perspiration beaded on his forehead as he kept forming one loop and fumbling at the second. Paul wondered if he would get past that step in order to tie his shoelaces. After what seemed like a dozen attempts, Paul managed to do it and let out a hoot of delight. Okay, as he ran in to show Danny Chu his proud work, a gust of wind blew the newspaper on the floor, and he saw her bend down to pick it up. Po thought Nanny Chu was rather sly, but acknowledged that he would otherwise not have succeeded in tying his own shoelaces. Over the next few days, there were more occasions that allowed Po to practice tying his shoelaces. One day, Nanny Chu took him to a traditional tea house. They sipped tea and enjoyed delicacies while she entertained him with her childhood stories. On another day, they watched wayang, which is the street opera, performed on a makeshift wooden stage. With Nanny Chu giving helpful comments, Po learned about the performer's costume and props and appreciated the performance better. He was amazed at her wealth of knowledge. Time flew past, and all too soon, his parents were at the door to take him home. How was the stay with Nanny Chu? Asked Po's mother as she stooped, arm outstretched, ready to help him with his shoelaces. Po waved her arms away and confidently tied his shoelaces himself. It was great. I've learned a lot from Nanny Chu. Can I stay with her again? Po asked. His parents exchanged a look of surprise, but readily agreed with broad smiles. Nanny Chu too beamed as Po gave her a farewell hug before he left with a twinge of regret. Okay, so I finished reading this passage that has 55 lines. Okay, so what is this passage about? First of all, of course, we know the character. Okay, we have the Po's parents, we have Po, and as well as Nanny Chu's. Okay, why regret? Why do you think? Usually we answer back the question together with the answer. You have to answer it in a complete sentence. Okay, so it'd be good if you can copy down the question, okay, to make it into a full sentence. Okay, so basically this passage is about Po's learning how to be independent. Okay, how? Through tying the shoelaces. Okay, yes, I believe this is 2020 PSLE, the past year PSLE paper. Okay, alright, so it's about Po's being independent. Okay, he was taken care by Nanny Chu. Okay, because the parents went to overseas for a work trip. Okay, now let's see. Question number 1. Why did Po let his old shoes go? What do you think? If you can see from paragraph 1, why did Po let his old shoes go? You see at the beginning, I believe the second sentence. Okay, his mother had been busy preparing for his stay. This included buying him shoes because why? Okay, you have to remember for comprehension open-ended, okay, the questions are all in sequence. Okay, so question number 1 means you have to refer to paragraph 1. Okay, so it's not going to be like question number 1, but you have to refer to the last paragraph of the passage. No. Okay, and usually you need to read carefully because they already given you the line. For example, in line 2 to 4, okay, give the reason to blah 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 blah. Okay, now yes, he had outgrown them. Good job. So that is the answer. Okay, Po had outgrown his old shoes. Okay, that's good. Now question number 2. From the first paragraph, okay, so that is your keyword. Okay, so you have to just look and focus at the first paragraph. From the first paragraph, pick out 2 word phrase that tell us that Po could not tie his shoelaces. Okay, so this one is a vocabulary question. Okay, if you do not know the meaning of the 2 word phrase, then you will lose the mark. Which one? Paragraph 1. The answer is somewhere along the very last line. Okay, 9 answers so far. Okay, let me just keep the timer and see. 10 answers submitted. So pick a 2-word phrase. So you have to provide 2 words, okay, for this answer for you to get 1 mark. Yes, correct. In vain, okay, not difficulty, okay. Why? Because in vain means you do something that without any success, okay, no purpose at all, okay, you keep failing, okay. So the answer is in vain. Okay, now let's see question number 3. Explain clearly. Okay, so this is 2 marks question. So that means your answer should be like longer, okay, than 1 mark question. Okay, explain clearly why Poe's mother's action prevented him from learning how to tie his shoelaces. Okay, you remember in the first paragraph, when the mother see that he had difficulty whenever he tried to pull the other end of the shoelace, okay, what did the mother do? The mother swooped down and settled it in no time, right? So you have to explain clearly why this action will prevent him from learning how to tie his shoelaces. Okay? Why? Oh, by the way, difficulty is wrong because you need 2 words. Okay? For question number 1 just now. Why? In order for you to be independent, of course, you need to practice more, right? So, I know from the point of view of the mother, it saves some time, okay, for him and for her as well. Okay, so that's why she swooped down and settled it in no time, okay, help pose with the shoelaces. But for a long term, okay, long run, it won't be good for Po because what? You have to explain clearly why the mother's action, okay? So the answer is her action tying the shoelaces for prevented him from trying again and again to find the correct way. Yes, it prevented Po from learning from his mistake and to learn how to tie his shoelaces, okay? Let him try. Yes, correct. Swoop in, correct, okay. And struggle on his own. Yes, okay. But since it's 2 marks question, okay, so you have to make your answer a bit longer by elaborating, okay, by helping Po tie his shoelaces after watching him fail a couple of times, okay. Po's mother did not give him the chance to make dozen attempts to get past the difficult second step and learn how to tie his shoelaces by himself, okay. Now, let's see question number, this is the explanation or the answer. Where can you get the answer? Of course, question 1, 2 and 3 you can get it in the first paragraph because the question has specifically mentioned about the first paragraph, especially question number 2, okay. So this is where you can find the answer. Like I mentioned, for question number 2, if I'm not mistaken, the 2 word, right, if you do not know the meaning of in vain, then you will lose the mark, okay. Now, let's see question number 3. Oh, 4. So for 4, this is the statement question where you have to come out with the true or false and then you have to give out the reason. Okay, if you mention true, then you have to give the reason. So based on lines 11 to 23, Nanny Chu was a total stranger to Po. What do you think? Is it true or false? Nanny Chu was a total stranger to Po. True or false? False, right? Okay, I've already given you the answer false. Where can you find the answer, the reason? Why I say false? Because Nanny Chu was a total stranger to Po. Is it correct? False. Now you have to give your reason. Why false? Okay, it's okay. To save time, let me just skip the timer because we have another 3 more questions to go and it's already 6:55. Let's see. The music helps. Okay, show answer. False. Okay, why false? Because you have to give out the reason, right? He had met her once. Yes. Okay. So Nanny Chu is actually Po's mother's caregiver whom he had met during a family event only once, okay? About like a year before. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. The ones who mentioned I got to go. Okay. So she was not a total stranger to Po. Okay, so the answer here is, the statement here is false because Nanny Chu was his mother's caregiver whom he had met at the family event the previous year. Okay, now so this is where you can find the answer. Okay, line 11, right? Now, let's see. So of course, like I mentioned, this is your key point here, okay, based on lines 11 to 23. So you have to focus on line 22 to 23 only, okay? Now, B, Po's mother did not seem to care about his complaint. You remember? Po mentioned, I'm bored stiff. Then what happened then? What will Po's mother do when she's back from the work trip? Did Po's mother, do not care about his complaint that he will be bored, living with an elderly lady? Okay, I'll skip the timer at 35 seconds. Okay. Okay, because this is more of a, giving out reason. Okay. False, because she cared but she did not give a heart to it. True, she did not react and only, you miss out the point. Let's see. Which one of you has the correct answer? He thought it would be good for him. Okay, see, next. The answer is actually, you see, false. Okay, the statement is false because, you see, Po's mother promised to make up for his stay at Nanny Chu's place after she returned from her trip. Okay, I believe that is the end of paragraph 2. Okay, so he would make up to him, okay, because, she felt like guilty for leaving him at Nanny Chu's place. Alright. Now, so this is where you can find the answer. You see, Po's mother thought the stay would be good for him. Nevertheless, she promised him that she would make up for it upon her return. Okay, now, last statement. Po was sorry that he had complained about Nanny Chu. So, is it true or false? I believe you have already discussed it in the comment box. No, the code is 371941. 371941. Po was sorry that he had complained about Nanny Chu. Okay, like usual, like just now for B, I'm going to stop the timer at 35 seconds. Okay, so you just have to figure out, is the statement here correct? True or false? Po was sorry that he had complained about Nanny Chu. Blur girl, did you manage to get in? 371941. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's already 19 seconds. Okay, let me skip the timer. Okay, Po was sorry that he had complained about Nanny Chu. So the statement here is actually true. Okay. True. Okay, why true? Yes, because he felt pity when he saw her eagerly waiting for him. Okay, when he rang the doorbell. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, that Nanny Chu had been waiting for their arrival. Okay, so this is where you can find the answer along line 17 to 21. Okay, you see, was clearly waiting for them as she appeared as soon as they rang the doorbell to welcome them. That made Pooh felt a little guilty. Okay, last but not least, question number 5. So from lines 41 to 47 means you have to focus only at lines 41 to 47. Give an example that shows Nanny Chu's wealth of knowledge. Line 46. You see here, wealth of knowledge. Okay. Just below line 45. Oh, I believe it's actually line 47, not 46. Give an example that shows Nanny Chu's wealth of knowledge. What did they talk about before the line of wealth of knowledge? Of course, you see, on another day, they watch wayang, okay, perform on a makeshift wooden stage with Nanny Chu giving helpful comments. Po learned about the performers' costumes and props and appreciated the performance better. So he was amazed at her wealth of knowledge. Okay, because of the what? Helpful comments. Okay, let me show you the answer. She entertained him with her childhood stories. Okay. Nanny gave a lot of comments that helped Po learn more. Yes. Okay, told more about the wayang's performance costume and props. So he appreciated the performance better. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, Nanny Chu gave helpful comments about the wayang performance, costumes and props. Okay, so that shows Nanny Chu's wealth of knowledge. Okay, so that is the end of open-ended question. Okay, so this is where you can find the answer. Okay, somewhere around line 44, 45 and 46. Okay, when this is all, it is referred to the wealth of knowledge. Yes, the Kahoot is already finished. Okay, thank you so much everyone for attending, but not to worry, next week we'll be having another session of this TikTok live. Okay, but we are going to be having the final round of PSLE oral, okay, together with your comprehension close as well as your vocab and grammar MCQ. Okay, so thank you so much for attending. Okay, I will see you next week, same timing, same day. Okay, Thursday 6-7. Okay, remember 6-7. Okay, not 7 to 8. Alright, thank you so much everyone. Bye-bye. Good night.